From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Powered by Century Ply.
Good evening and welcome, my dear viewers. Tell yourself every moment again and again, many times a day, and tell others around you that this is a phase, it's not forever. Tell yourself and remind yourself this is a phase, it's not forever, and that will make you more determined. Because to fight a disease, we have to diagnose it. I'll tell you all the news in the next 2 hours, but let me tell you where I believe we stand today as a nation. Viewers, to fight a disease, you need to diagnose it. To eliminate a problem, you have to first locate it. To fight a battle, we have to first accept the reality that there is really no other option but to fight this battle. And today, the sum total of the day's news is that all of India has begun diagnosing, has begun successfully locating the problem. And all of us, you and me, all of us, we are in the battle. And now we must fight with whatever means we have. We must be very focused because we are now getting deeper and deeper into the battlefield. And as we go deeper and deeper into the battlefield, the more difficult it may appear to get, the more difficult it probably will be. But remember, there can be no victory unless we pass through this phase which we are currently in. So the next few days are going to be difficult. In fact, each passing day over the next few days will be more difficult than the other. More areas will become containment zones. Have no doubt about it. More areas will be identified as hotspots. Accept it. And many of us at the least. And all of us, if necessary, will have to endure greater hardship. But we must endure it. If curfew passes are cancelled, endure it. If there is zero movement allowed in hotspot clusters, my dear countrymen, you must support it. When areas are barricaded, other areas are sealed, for be sure, dear viewers. Areas will be barricaded and more areas will be sealed in the coming days, and there will be hardship, but you must do everything possible to make sure that it is followed to the last word. In simple things, if in affected areas only home delivery is allowed, and not a single person is allowed to enter or exit sealed hotspots. Viewers, this is the time. You must not be cavalier about it. You must not, and not allow anyone else either to be reckless. Don't be cavalier, don't be reckless. And remember, every moment, this is a phase, India. It's not forever. Let's get past it successfully, India. This country is crying out for a total lockdown. The Republic Media Network, your network, all of us, I personally, all of us support a total lockdown. A total lockdown is the only option. A total lockdown is what our country needs. A total lockdown has to be a collective shout tonight. And that is the way in which we will win. And that is my first debate tonight, viewers, after I bring you all the news. Do you support a total lockdown? We say here you have no choice but to. None of us have a choice but to support a total lockdown. And on debate number 2 tonight, viewers, Tabligis are still in hiding. We are exasperated. And we ask why they want to defy the law. And debate number 3 tonight, viewers, on lockdown questions. So many of you are asking us, what should cancer patients do? So many are saying chemotherapy is not being done. What should cancer patients do? Some of the best oncologists join me on lockdown questions at 10:30 p.m. And here are the headlines. This Wednesday evening, the 8th of March, on the debate tonight. $773 new COVID cases in 24 hours. India's corona graph has risen to over 5,200.
15 जिलों में जो हॉटस्पॉट्स डीएमएसपीज ने आइडेंटिफाई कर रखे हैं, उन सभी हॉटस्पॉट्स पर जो है पूरी तरह से सख्ती की जाएगी और लॉकडाउन का मतलब लॉकडाउन.
Yogi Adityanath shows the way, imposes ruthless containment measures by sealing 104 hotspots in 15 districts of Uttar Pradesh. With 714 cases in Mumbai alone, will Uddhav Thackeray go for the Yogi model and enforce a total lockdown as well? Prime Minister Narendra Modi hints at extending the lockdown to overcome this social emergency. Deadline ends and nationwide search intensifies for the Tabligis who have gone into hiding. And at 10:30 p.m. tonight, a panel of medical experts and oncologists will take your questions on what cancer patients should be doing. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last 1 week, India has witnessed a sudden spike in coronavirus cases. We have 5,274 cases this minute. I fear the numbers will rise before they get better. And the only way to contain a spike now is to ensure 100% ruthless lockdown. Yogi Adityanath has completely sealed 104 hotspots in his state. And we are just getting news that the Madhya Pradesh government has announced that hotspots in 14 districts will be completely sealed as well. So here is why we, the people of India, need a total lockdown, and then we'll debate.
When Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with leaders of the opposition via video conferencing, he emphasized that his government's priority is to save each and every life. Comparing the situation in the country to that of a social emergency, Prime Minister Modi told leaders cutting across party lines that this situation has necessitated tough decisions. And one state that has taken extremely tough measures is the state of Uttar Pradesh. The administration under Yogi Adityanath has identified 104 COVID hotspots across 15 districts of the state and has decided to enforce 100% lockdown.
आज माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने सुबह 11 बजे बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बैठक की है. उन सभी हॉटस्पॉट्स पर जो है पूरी तरह से सख्ती की जाएगी और लॉकडाउन का मतलब लॉकडाउन. वहाँ पर कोई भी जो है व्यक्ति जा नहीं पाएगा. ये निर्देश उन्होंने आज दिया है.
Out of the 15 districts whose hotspots will be completely sealed starting midnight, 5 districts are reporting 100% Markaz-related cases. They are Shamli, Firozabad, Maharajganj, Saharanpur and Sitapur. All COVID-positive cases are linked to those who attended Delhi's Nizamuddin Markaz in the second week of March. capital of Uttar Pradesh, 12 hotspots have been identified. Till the morning of the 15th of April, there will be total curb on movement here. Essentials will be delivered at doorsteps.
उत्तर प्रदेश में जो लगातार कोरोना के केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं उसको लेकर के बैठक हुई है, जिसमें मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ने ये फैसला लिया है कि 15 जिले जहां पे 6 से ज़्यादा कोरोना के केसेस हैं, उन जिलों में वो एरियाज जहां पे ज़्यादा केसेस आ रहे हैं उनको सील कर दिया जाएगा.
Delhi too has decided to seal 20 hotspots. In the capital, over 500 people have tested positive for coronavirus and 9 people have succumbed.
कुल मिला के दिल्ली में इस वक्त 20 ऐसे इलाके हैं जहां हमने सीलिंग की हुई है. इलाके को सील किया हुआ है. वहां के उसके अंदर उस गली में या उस कॉलोनी में या उस अपार्टमेंट में लोगों का जाना मना है या उससे बाहर निकलना लोगों का मना है.
The western state of Maharashtra is worst hit with over 1,000 coronavirus cases. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has made wearing masks compulsory in public places.
तर काल कॅबिनेटमध्ये आम्ही सगळे मास्क लावून बसलो होतो. याचा अर्थ आता आपण जर जीवनावश्यक वस्तूंसाठी घराबाहेर पडत असाल तर मास्क वापरा. हो, वापरायला पाहिजे आता. आणि हे मास्क केवळ आत्ता नाही, मला तर असं वाटतं यातून बाहेर पडल्यानंतर सुद्धा पुढचे काही दिवस ते आपल्याला वापरायला पाहिजे, एक आपल्या सुरक्षेसाठी. कारण हा विषाणू कसा कुठून जातोय अजून कोणाच्या लक्षात आलेलं नाहीये.
668 cases out of 1,078 cases in Maharashtra have been reported from Mumbai itself. There are 241 containment zones in the city. Will 100% lockdown follow in these areas too?
वर्ली का ये जो बिलियर्ड स्टॉल का स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट है और जैसे ही यहाँ पर 4 पॉजिटिव कोविड-19 के पाए गए उसके बाद इस बीएमसी के ओर से इसको कंटेनमेंट एरिया के तौर पर घोषित किया है, पूरा सील कर दिया गया है.
I am here now at the Prabhadevi Mandi. Prabhadevi Mandi, when the lockdown began, was one of the areas that Republic TV recorded a report from. Now look at the situation today. This has been declared a containment zone and the entire area has been sealed.
States unwilling to take chances. Is 100% lockdown the only vaccine against coronavirus right now? Let's debate.
My dear viewers, the Prime Minister today met all the opposition leaders. He called the situation in our country a social emergency, and he spoke about how in some states, some districts and experts have called for an extension of the lockdown. I have no doubt in my mind the lockdown will be extended. But ladies and gentlemen, some states extending the lockdown is not enough. Some hotspots seeing containment efforts is not enough. I believe we need a nationwide total lockdown. For me, it doesn't make sense if you have a lockdown in Mumbai, but you don't have a complete lockdown in Kolkata tomorrow. For example, I'm just saying, hypothetical situation. If you have a lockdown in Delhi, but you don't have one in Haryana tomorrow, it doesn't make sense to me. And I think we all need to support a total nationwide lockdown. To begin the debate tonight, because I have been only working towards trying to get a consensus on this, I'd like to first get Rahul Chakrabarti from Kolkata. Rahul Chakrabarti, do you support a total nationwide lockdown or not?
Yeah, I think so. It should be. It's because we are facing a terrible situation. Now the civilization is in danger. So there is no political sense. There is no political fight. There should not be anything. It does not make any difference, Arnab. Now we have to fight. There is a battle. We have to fight together. It makes no sense either from TMC or from Congress or from BJP or from CPM. We have to fight together. So we are waiting for that order. We are waiting for the decision of the central government. Yeah. And now in West Bengal, I should mention this. Mamata Banerjee is leading from the front. She is doing fantastic and she is doing excellent, Arnab. So now we have to, this is the consciousness of the public. Yeah. We have to understand the situation. Yeah. So this is the thing, and the lockdown should be continued.
Okay, I'm very happy. I'm very happy you've taken that line, because one more reason I want to tell you viewers, you need a total nationwide lockdown. I want to go to Ajay Prakash. The problem will be with certain people who are only looking at business interests. It is unfortunate that some people are only looking at the impact on industry. How can you talk like that? I mean, how can you think of industry at this time? If there are no people, where will the industry be? Today, you need a total lockdown. Let's get Ajay Prakash. He's a travel and tourism industry man. And I think people like you also need to step forward and say only and only a total lockdown. We can't become Italy. We can't go the way America is going. There is no option. Ajay, please support a total lockdown. I want everyone to just support a total lockdown. Ajay Prakash. Can't hear Ajay. Let's go to Rajiv Desai. Rajiv Desai, do you support a total lockdown or not?
Day before yesterday on your show, I said there has to be a lockdown, but there has to be some intelligence involved with it, which is they must do testing. And from all reports that I'm getting of people who are quite involved with the task force,
louder, please. Audio.
There's not enough testing being done, and I think they should do some more testing. And this is not a political debate. So, Mr. Patra, don't get your hackles up already. The fact of the matter is we're in a dangerous position. The question that, you can't do all this seal here, seal there. There has to be a complete strategy. And more importantly, it's a complete strategy that has to be laid out before the people. This is what we are doing. This is why we are doing it. Just the way, for example, the governor of the state of New York does every day. Pointing out.
Please don't give me New York's example.
Strategy.
There couldn't be a worse example for you to talk about New York.
Oh,
I mean, New York has messed it up. I'm embarrassed you're even talking about New York here. Malini wants to respond first. Malini, see this. What New York?
Putting it out. They're sharing it with the people. They're not sweeping everything under the carpet. They're saying this is what we are doing and this is what
Who's sweeping anything under the carpet here in our country? Who's sweeping it? Who's sweeping it under the carpet here? Malini is responding before I come to you. Samit. Malini. Nobody's sweeping anything under the carpet in India. Malini. Malini.
They're well done, and this is the way it should be done here. Not just to some joint secretary somewhere.
Malini.
New York is a wonderful and fine example of what can happen to you if you keep on ignoring the threats that can cause to humanities. I think New York is a wonderful example and is paying for it. And now the whole US is paying for it. UK is paying for it. The whole Europe is, in fact, some of the countries are paying for it. We should be proud of being Indian. I think the way
amount of openness is needed from
why not?
Not this
See,
nonsense.
you should foresee a threat. You should foresee a threat and act upon it. What are you talking about, sir? We should be proud of being in a country where
your strategy.
I'm not talking nonsense. Come on.
Why you are doing something? What are the things you're doing?
What strategy? You have to first understand how difficult the problem is. First of all, you have to address the problem. No.
I want to cite, and I think on occasions like this, Rajiv, 1 minute. Rajiv, a minute, please. A minute, please. Malini, if you don't mind. You see, we must look at what Yogi Adityanath has done today. And I have no hesitation in saying that Yogi Adityanath is doing a marvelous job. Marvelous job. That's why the Vadra family better keep quiet for some time. Because
Arnab, please shut up, okay? You don't even know what you're talking about.
I am talking about, and first of all, you are so senior. You are a couple of generations older to me, so I will not respond to your use of indiscriminate language. But I will.
Instead of sharing it,
why it hurts you?
We're going to seal this, we're going to seal that, but explain to us why.
You know what?
These are the things that have to be explained.
Listen,
this is what whole democracy is about.
Rajiv,
you have
listen.
to be able to explain to people what you're doing.
Rajiv.
I'm not saying don't do
listen to me.
Listen, Rajiv. Listen,
Rajiv. I need to tell you this. Rajiv, I need to tell you this. Listen, you told me to shut up, and I won't. The people of India won't, because Yogi Adityanath is doing a damn good job. Hurts you to accept it.
You remember that film?
And let me tell you, there's enough communication going on out there as well. There is unprecedented action which has happened in Uttar Pradesh. You know how difficult it was? Let me tell you, Yogi Adityanath, I will repeat, is doing a marvelous job. Marvelous job. Unprecedented action has happened in Uttar Pradesh. This is the model. This is the model. It may hurt you, but I will tell you.
Just be sensible and talk sense. say these are the issues.
Mr.
We
Goswami,
need to
I
know
believe I
about what's
need to come
happening.
in now.
That's all.
Okay, one
I'm
minute.
not saying
Just
don't
a
do
minute.
it.
I'll tell you a
You're
couple
doing
of things.
something, tell
Okay,
us.
have you stopped shouting? Thank you.
Allow me to come.
Sambit, before you come in, please, and your audio is low, it'll be fixed. 1 minute. Viewers, I have said today, I'm really proud of the work Yogi Adityanath has done, because you know what he's done, and I'll communicate. High viral load regions have been sealed. High viral load regions have been sealed. All regions which have a high viral load have been sealed in the districts. All such districts across the country, if they follow the Yogi model and impose a total lockdown in areas where there is a high viral load, believe me, the solution will come sooner. Second thing, you know what? It's so easy for you to criticize. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to make it personal.
Arnab. Don't
Listen.
put words in my mouth.
Rajiv, listen. Rajiv, listen.
I'm
Rajiv,
simply saying
louder, please.
share.
So he doesn't say I don't. Listen to me. Louder, please. Question is, and I'll get others in. Home delivery and medical teams being permitted in the hotspots, 15 districts, ensures aggressive containment of what could otherwise turn into community spread. So you do understand how serious this is. It's all right for these babalogs in your Congress party to suddenly tweet about what is wrong. I'll tell you clearly, there is no panic buying because Yogi Adityanath is managing it. Sambit.
Can I just, can we have some patience? Can I speak without any politics? For God's sake, Mr. Goswami, I'm in a day when I feel that today probably this debate is not going to have two sides. The day when I feel all the panelists are going to speak in unison. The day you have Mr. Rajiv Desai. Why is it so? This is anyay. This is anyay. Please, Mr. Rajiv Desai, if you feel your New York is doing such a wonderful job, please find a transportation for Mr. Rajiv Desai to New York. Send him to New York immediately. Let him not disturb this debate. Let him not disturb this debate. If you feel your New York is doing so good, and if you are so averse towards Mr. Modi and Mr. Yogi, please go to your New York. Don't curse over here, India. Don't curse India. Let me come to a non-political issue without shouting. Sir, just a second. Please, I request you. Don't shout, sir. Don't shout, sir. Don't shout, sir.
Please.
Mr. Goswami, as far as this lockdown issue is concerned, I have some strong message to give. Remember, as far as this battle is concerned, it is either you shut the virus or the virus shuts you. So you decide what you want. You want the virus to shut humanity. You want the virus to shut India. Or before that, you want to take the precaution and you want to shut yourself so that the virus is abandoned, is killed, is nowhere to be seen, number one. Number two, remember there is no cure, no vaccine for this disease. The only cure is prevention. Prevention is the cure and lockdown is the prevention, number two. Number three, remember, as far as people like Mr. Rajiv Desai is concerned, he was right now saying that the government of India is brushing things inside the carpet, under the carpet, and look at US and New York, how fantastically they're managing things. Mr. Rajiv Desai with folded hands for a few days, clean your carpets in home. Don't spread pessimism. Don't spread impatience. आप कुछ दिन अपने घर में कालीन साफ करिए. सब लोग घर की सफाई कर रहे हैं. आप भी करिए.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to you. Why?
Don't talk personally.
Why won't I take your name? Who are you? Who are you? Governor of New York. Who are you? Governor of New York. You please don't spit your ignorance over here on the debate. Don't spit your ignorance over here on the debate. Don't attack the Indian government. And no, we all are thankful that what America, Italy and most of Europe could not do, the Indian government has taken the right step at the right time. And well, yes, Mr. Yogi Adityanath deserves an applaud. Mr. Yogi Adityanath deserves an applaud, the kind of right-handedness that he has shown in dealing with corona. And today in 15 districts, all the hotspots, they have been sealed. For what? For protecting 22 crore people of Uttar Pradesh. Remember, the population of Uttar Pradesh almost is similar to the population of United States of America. It's a humongous task in Uttar Pradesh. So for God's sake, don't start ignorance over here, Mr. Desai.
No, I think point is well taken. Let's look.
Let me tell you, Sambit bhai, let me tell you, unity is strength. Teamwork and collaboration will work wonders. That is what exactly is required today. So let me tell you, in this crisis situation, there is an upsurge, there is an exponential increase in the positive cases.
Well, of course, India needs a lockdown. There is no doubt about it. There are some pertinent questions which the government needs to answer. There's absolutely no planning on the migrant workers and the informal sector workers who've lost their jobs. They need to get food. They need to get the basic amenities. That is not being answered.
You're absolutely wrong, sir. Absolutely wrong. Just because you have a bulb behind your head does not mean you are so intelligent. No. You should be keeping yourself informed. No. Burning a bulb behind your head does not emit knowledge. Remember, knowledge comes from information. You have to get the right kind of information as to what the government of India has done. 1.7 lakh crore rupees. 1.7 lakh crore rupees is the package that the government of India has given concerning almost everyone who needs it, everyone who is in need of money, migrant laborers, the ones who are the farmers, the ones who are in Manrega, every section of the society has been dealt with by this package by the government of India. And the government of India has assured and has seen to it that the needies are fed, no one sleeps hungry. So please, for God's sake, don't spread misinformation over here.
Viewers, if you are supporting a total lockdown, I want you to tweet using the hashtag tonight. Syed, I want to tell you a couple of things. Syed, I want to tell you a couple of things. Listen to me. And listen to me, India. There are strong lobbies who want the lockdown to be lifted. Ajay Alok, I want you to come into the debate with Ajay Prakash. And K. Sujata Rao, I'm coming to you as well in a minute. She's former Secretary of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Amar Patnaik is National Spokesperson of BJD, so I have to expand the debate in a minute. I only want to say this, Ajay. And people, there are strong business lobbies. And some political parties over the next few days will be the voice of these business lobbies. They may be getting paid by them. Maybe it is possible that they are funding them. They're getting paid by them. I really suspect the intentions of the Vadra family. I wonder who's behind them, because they're constantly trying to create a situation where the lockdown is unsuccessful. Viewers, an extension of the lockdown is the only way to safeguard you. And there is a section that wants the lockdown lifted. There is a section that wants the lockdown to go away, but suddenly removing the lockdown will only help that business class. Narendra Modi is doing what Donald Trump did not have the guts to do. Narendra Modi is putting people first, not money bags first. Right? And a lot of relief has been provided. Viewers, these people are lying, Ajay Alok. I think we need to tell them. They are lying. Look at the massive economic package of 1.7 lakh crores which was given to the poorest of the poor. Look at the moratorium of 3 months on all term loans and EMIs to the middle class. Companies have got massive exemptions from documentations and submissions for the time being. It is clear that all provisions to tide over the lockdown for 3 months if required have been given. The only people cribbing Ajay today are the people who want to make more profits. They are the ones who will do everything possible to try and defeat the idea of a total lockdown. We need to speak up stronger against them, don't we? Don't we need to, Ajay?
You are right. You are right. You're absolutely right. But here is one question. Like all my learned panelists who are opposing the lockdown or opposing the idea or just questioning the government in different laterals, that what about the migrant labor, what about the business, what about the industry waste, what about the economy? This kind of question you must be hearing for the last 10-15 days. I have just one question to ask to them. Okay, all esteemed person, please tell us what weapon we have to fight this disease.
Exactly.
What Congress would have been doing had they been in power.
Unfortunately,
every government would have done the same. और दूसरी बात, दूसरी बात,
we do not have a weapon as of
मैं अपनी
now.
बात खत्म कर लूं. दूसरी बात, एक मिनट सुनिए सही, मैं खत्म कर लेता हूं. घर में जब आग लगती है तो पहले आग बुझाएंगे या घर का जो नुकसान हो रहा है उसका कैलकुलेशन करेंगे. ये काम मुनाफाखोर करते हैं कि पहले आग से क्या नुकसान हुआ उसकी क्षतिपूर्ति कर देखना. पहले आग बुझाई जाती है. So first defeat corona, and if we are living, we have that much courage, we have that much conviction that will rebuild our economy. And now second thing, now about the package and the concern of the government. 1.7 lakhs crores has already been allocated and remaining 2 lakhs crores is also in the pipeline which is going to come. Today ASSOCHM has written a letter.
We do not have... Okay, 1 minute. Ajay is responding. What are you saying, Ajay Prakash? Go on.
The whole world does not have a vaccine.
Let's hear the other side. Ajay, let's hear the other side. Ajay, let's hear the other side. Ajay, let's hear the other side. Ajay to Ajay, please calm down. Ajay, look, calm down. Let's hear Ajay Prakash. Ajay, you will respond. Okay, tell me, Ajay Prakash, what is your problem? What do we not have?
Yes.
Let's hear them. Let's hear.
Arnab, very simply is this. We do not have a plan. We do not have a cure. All we are hoping to do is delay the inevitable. I mean, when you have a situation when the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, doctors and health workers are told that you will get 5
inevitable to come before it comes. Mr. Ajay, this cannot be allowed to national television. Sorry, Mr. Ajay. You say that India is inevitably going to face what Italy had, what America is facing. This is absolute negativism. This is absolute pessimism. And this should not be allowed on any television channel where a reputed person comes and says that the inevitable is thousands are going to die. Absolutely wrong. That means aaj se kafan od ke lete. I mean, you are going to say just because what's happening in Europe and in America is the inevitable, तो क्या हम सब कफन ओढ़ के लेट जाएं? No, आप बताएं अजय जी, हम लोग कफन ओढ़ के लेट जाएं? हम कफन ओढ़ के लेट जाएं क्या? Absolute no, sir. No, sir. We all have to be positive, and the only and remember, whatever steps are being taken.
Let me explain this. Let me ask you, Ajay, 1 minute. Sambit, I know you're angry at this, but Ajay Prakash, 1 second. Allow me to moderate this. 1 second, Ajay. Listen, Ajay Prakash, allow me to moderate this, I said, please. When phrases are used at times like this, I see your hand. 1 minute, Ajay. Relax, yaar. Listen to me. Listen to me. We have to be ready to sacrifice.
Go ahead.
Sacrifice. You think people like you, corporates from the travel sector, travel and tourism sector, you think you're going to be hit because of the lockdown? I understand. But let me tell you this. Let me tell you with hard work and honesty, Malini, I'll tell you and everyone tonight, that we in the media, you think we don't have bills? But we are willing to sacrifice and give all we got. You think we don't have expenses? But we are willing to lose personally so the country may gain.
Arnab,
please, I tell you again, I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this on record tonight. I'm sorry. Even if a total lockdown comes at our personal cost, we have to be willing to endure it. Endure it. You cannot tell me, no, I don't like this. The whole country must listen tonight. People, Ajay, I will oppose you. Ajay, you said, listen to me, Ajay. Listen to me. No. Ajay, listen now. Malini is on. 1 minute, Ajay. Ajay, listen now. Listen for a minute. Calm down. They said tonight, viewers, and I must be allowed to complete my statement. A statement made. I don't know the exact words that got Sambit so angry. What were they, Sambit? He said, you are only delaying the inevitable. One second. He said, and you know, English is a language which can be used in multiple ways. Sometimes to go against national interest and sometimes to fight for national interest. And everyone's on tonight, I'm saying something. We be careful of the words you use, Ajay. When you say delay the inevitable, you are telling me that inevitably... 1 minute, Ajay, now don't intervene when I'm speaking, right? I heard you, right? I have every right to respond to you. You want to know the number of people calling right now, the number of tweets coming on what you said? You want to tell me America's position is inevitable for India? I say absolutely not. You want to tell me that what happened to Italy will happen to India? I say absolutely not. Absolutely not. I take the 2,000 odd Tablighi Markaz cases out of the number of 5,000. I say I'm proud in a country of 1.35 billion people, you would only have 3,000 cases. Absolutely not. You want to tell me today what is feasible? They tell me, oh, is this feasible? These people say, is this feasible? I tell them, what is feasible? They say lockdown is not feasible. I want to tell them a balance of the inconveniences, a balance of the inconveniences. I tell them today, is it Syed, listen, Syed, I tell you, no Syed, 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 no Syed. I'll go by the philosophy I live in life. I'll go by the philosophy, Malini, I live in life. I say if you go into battle, you go with all your heart and you go to win. You don't go into a battle with uncertainty. I will not accept any negativity. Now, Malini, I want you in. I ask you today, is it feasible to have 2,000 deaths in a day like in the US?
Lockdown is a necessity today.
No. You are playing with words. No. Malini, I think we need to speak up now. It's enough. Malini is on the debate. Syed, be quiet. Ajay, listen to Malini's response.
Hello, guys. Be quiet.
Malini, you can respond, please.
I've been listening to everyone, and I think it's time that people
speak up.
Yes. I think it's time people rise above politics and differences. I'm surprised that they agree with lockdown, yet have issues with government. They fail to understand in these unprecedented times, government is doing their best. And you have to even understand that the stricter measures that we take, we are going to do good to people. In fact, I really applaud and all governments who are taking stricter measures, and I think one and all, I think the whole India is united on this note that we need maybe 15 days, maybe a month of lockdown, because it's, after all, Rahul, you have to live to even fight. So basically, you know, you have to endorse it, and I think you have to completely agree. And I really, yes.
Arnab, let me tell you something. The thing is, there are so many points either. Mamata Banerjee deserves applause also for what she has done for the state. We have issues. We are not getting all the equipments, everything. Even though we have so many negative points, even though because we are one, we are the same nation, and we have to fight together. This is not the time for politics. Exactly. This is for the time for the battle, and we should fight together.
I like K. Sujata Rao to come in on this. She's been quiet for a long time. K. Sujata Rao and Amar Patnaik have not spoken. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let me go to K. Sujata Rao. K. Sujata Rao, some people are talking about the feasibility. 1 minute, please, Rahul. Some people are talking about the feasibility of a lockdown. I want you to give me your view on this. Is it feasible to keep our commercial capital, our financial capital under lockdown? Or is it feasible to become like New York, where there are today more confirmed cases of coronavirus in New York than in Italy? What is feasible? K. Sujata Rao, please. Please.
Okay, so I think the lockdown is important for us because that's the way we will be able to get a control over the epidemic. We cannot afford a US or an Italian scenario in India. And particularly not in the northern states where our systems of health are quite weak and they don't have the capacity to really be able to take that kind of a surge of patients as we see there. So there's no option. We just have to have a lockdown. But having said that, I want to make 2 points. Lockdown by itself in isolation, as you know, the WHO strategy, does not give you the optimal outcomes. It has to be accompanied with massive testing, identification of more hotspots, more people who are infected, tracing them, isolating them, and then seeing to it that you get a complete control over the epidemic, along with a massive information dissemination. So that's a comprehensive strategy, which is what the government is also trying to do, and I think that needs to be done. Having said that, I have one point of concern to me is that, this is the agriculture season. I think the agriculture sector must be somehow insulated. I think the government is aware of the importance of insulating the agriculture sector. Yeah. So I think that's a very important concern because we cannot, for solving one problem, we cannot be creating another problem tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Food is more important than, I don't mind getting the infection today. I'll get better tomorrow, but if without food, I'm done. So I think the government is aware of that. They're working towards it, but that's something that must be protected at all costs.
I agree with you. I'd also before Sambit you respond, I'd like Amar Patnaik to come in on this so you can respond to everything. We completely agree with you, K. Sujata Rao. That point is completely well taken. And I think the government is cognizant of this, especially in this crop season that we are in, right? My question is at another level, on the broad issue of a total lockdown, people are telling us this is not feasible for a long time. I asked them, Amar Patnaik, that is it then feasible to become the next Iran? Is it then feasible to become like Spain, which outpaces its own death toll daily? People tell us not feasible, and I keep saying that business interests will tell you that it is not feasible. Is it feasible to outdo France? Is the fourth nation to register over 10,000 deaths? What is feasibility? We keep talking about GDP. You see, the GDP goes down for 1 month and 2 months, it will come back. Consumption patterns are meant to come back. People will continue to consume. People may not buy cars today, they will come out and buy cars tomorrow. But people must be saved. If we don't, then we're going to go down. What we need to do is just build the consensus for a total lockdown. Amar Patnaik, you've been quiet. I'd like your views, please. Dr. Amar Patnaik.
Arnab, yes, I fully agree. But I'm appalled at the fact that somebody says that let's delay. Why delay the inevitable? I'm really appalled because saving human lives, I think that has been the Indian tradition, not just of this government, of this party. And that's why, whether it is the Prime Minister or whether it is the Chief Minister of Orissa, it is saving the human life that has been the most important aspect in this entire strategy. And then comes the economy, which will probably,
And then comes the economy, which will probably, there are several measures that we can debate on that. What is the amount of stimulus that should have come in? What is the sector that should be given? But at this point of time, the most important thing is to save lives. And for that, medicine. So the lockdown, you see, Wuhan had 73 days of lockdown before it was opened. And we are nowhere near that. And that's why what we have seen so far is a tremendous amount of success in flattening the curve and getting our medical facilities ready to address in case it spills over or it spills over. So wherever, I think there has been a consensus. I think it's a minority which probably doesn't believe that a lockdown is good for the country. But at this point of time, whether it is in UP, as you were saying, or in Orissa, on fourth and the fifth of total lockdown, 100%. Of Bhubaneswar, Bhadrak,
3/10 at that point of time in these 3 districts, and we had a full lockdown. And now we have said today in the Prime Minister's meeting that we are fully with you in the spirit of cooperative federalism. Whatever decision you take would be for the good of the country. We have asked that the states may be given the right or the flexibility to even do even harder stuff if required.
I think we had an audio glitch here right now. Amar Patnaik, I'm going to come back to you. You made a good point. And I want Sambit to come on this because we're getting a lot of reactions to what was said by Mr. Ajay Prakash. And it's good in a way that he said it. I'll tell you why, Sambit. Because this is the view of some people. Ajay, listen to me, please.
I would also like to come back and say what I wish.
Ajay, let me make my point, and I'm getting you back into the debate. If you, Ajay, 1 minute, please, right? Ajay, first let's fix Ajay's audio because I want it to be heard. But I want to make a point. See, viewers. Dr. Amar Patnaik mentioned Wuhan. Right. Wuhan was the epicenter of the COVID crisis, okay? Lockdown continued for 76 days, even today, right, Sambit? The restrictions on residential communities in Wuhan remain, where people need to produce a QR code to exit or enter. So what have the people of Wuhan shown? Patience and restraint. What Prime Minister asked for at the start. So even now, despite claims of success, please understand you have a full, you look at South Korea. One more example, Sambit. South Korea tightened the border by suspending visa-free entries, 2-week mandatory quarantine for all passengers arriving from abroad since April 1st, shutting down of bars, no restaurants, no bars, no venues. When South Korea hadn't imposed a lockdown so far, is going in for a lockdown now. Why? Because they realize this is the solution. Sambit, Our response needs to be to corporate lobbies and people like Ajay Prakash, who will now say, listen, the logic there is that he presents is, oh, we're all going to die anyway. Let's just open the lockdown and have a damn good time. This is the Trump approach. This has destroyed America. This needs a rebut completely. Sambit.
Mr. Goswami and Ajay ji, just allow me a few seconds. I'll take 50 seconds because two extremely important points. Because what Ms. Rao said today, she is a bureaucrat and she is knowledgeous. Sujata Rao, she has brought out some very important point. As far as economy is concerned, look, there's a general saying in medical science that a living problem is better than a dead one. So if we are dead, we don't need the economy. If we are living, we can always revive the economy. Now, she had a point in the sense that agriculture. Thankfully, Mr. Goswami, just before I came to this debate, there was a video conferencing that Mr. J.P. Nudda, the party president, took, in which Mr. Narendra Tomar, the agriculture minister, was present. He has briefed us with a note as to what the government has taken call on as far as agriculture is concerned. मैं कुछ point हिंदी में बताऊंगा ताकि हमारे किसान भाई, आपके रिपब्लिक के हिंदी चैनल भी है, वो जान सकेंगे. देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात जो अभी हमें एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्टर ने आधे घंटे पहले बताया कि फसल की कटाई का सीजन है. 80 से 90% फसल कटाई हो गई है. फसल कटाई के लिए जो भी हार्वेस्टर चाहिए वो सारे फ्री ट्रांसपोर्ट के लिए अलाउड है, कहीं से भी कहीं जा सकते हैं. उसके लिए जो लेबर्स की भी आवश्यकता है, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के साथ लेबर्स भी जा सकते हैं. नंबर 1. जहां तक फसल खरीदी की प्रोक्योरमेंट का बात है, एफसीआई और नेफेड को गो अहेड प्रोक्योरमेंट के लिए दे दिया गया है. कुछ राज्य 15 अप्रैल से ये प्रोक्योरमेंट शुरू कर रहे हैं और कुछ राज्य 15 अप्रैल के बाद ये प्रोक्योरमेंट प्रोसीजर चालू करेंगे. सबसे खुशी की बात है कि रेड टेपिज्म और ब्यूरोक्रेसी को प्रोक्योरमेंट में सभी सरकार को समाप्त करने के लिए मोदी जी ने कहा है कि किसी प्रकार का कोई रेड टेपिज्म नहीं रहेगा. सभी का 25% दलहन और तिलहन कंपल्सरीली खरीदा जाएगा. और हॉर्टिकल्चर और फलों के, खास करके फलों की आवाजाही के लिए, बिकॉज वो पेरिशेबल प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, तो ट्रक्स की जुगाड़ नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. इसलिए एक ऐप बना के कौन से ट्रक कहां रुके हुए हैं, कैसा उनका इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है. अभी तक 3.5 लाख ट्रकों का जुगाड़, जो व्यवस्था होती है वो किया जा चुका है. मनरेगा में 2 प्रकार के काम होते हैं. सामुदायिक कामों को रुका गया है. जो व्यक्ति मूलक काम होता है कि कोई कुआं खोदता है, कोई अपने घर का काम करता है, उसको अलाउ किया गया है ताकि मनरेगा के माध्यम से पैसा पहुंच सके. तो इस प्रकार बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो किसानों के लिए, ताकि द एग्रीकल्चर ऑफ दिस कंट्री डज नॉट सफर. ऑल दीस पॉइंट्स.
Excellent. Now, Sambit, you made an elaborate point. Once everyone on. No, 1 second, Ajay. Ajay, listen to me. I'd say one thing.
They have been taken.
No, great efforts are being taken for the agriculture sector, for agricultural workers, for agricultural laborers. Great efforts are being taken. The irony in our country is, can you reduce that volume, please? It disturbs me. The irony in our country, Amar Patnaik, is the greatest concern is coming from people who only travel by chartered planes. They don't have the guts to say we are bothered about the hundreds of crores we are going to lose. But they will, you see, Ajay Alok, they will shoot off the shoulders of the migrant workers. Keep quiet. Ajay Alok, we should tell them to keep quiet. The government has taken care of the agricultural sector, the migrant workers already. These people are concerned about their chartered planes not flying. But they don't have the guts to do that. Will Ajay Prakash talk about that? He won't. He won't. He'll shoot off the shoulders. Will Rajiv Desai talk about it? No. Will Rajiv Desai talk about it? No.
Give me the opportunity. And I will.
They don't know. They don't know.
2/3 of India.
They don't know what's happening on the ground.
Ajay.
Even at the state level or central level. Even at the state level or at the central level, what government is doing, they don't know. See, Ajay ji was telling there is no vaccine, there is no medicine. There is no vaccine in the whole world. He doesn't know that. Where will he get the vaccine from? TMC supporter was saying Mamta Didi is doing excellent job. But what TMC MPs demanded from the Prime Minister today? Why remove our MP lad fund?
Rahul.
I mean, these kind of frivolous things are coming up in the discussion.
Yes.
Who cares for the MP lad fund of 5 crores?
We are demanding the fund.
This is coming up.
The economic package should be there. This is the point.
No, you are demanding your own fund.
Even though we
no,
have
you are demanding your own fund.
The MP lad fund is meant for the public, not for the MP.
We are demanding.
It's going to the state.
Banerjee is demanding their
Your 42 MPs of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha MP, 5 crores each, the fund will go to your state.
There are so many points.
In the Corona fund, what is the problem?
There should be economic package.
No, what economic package? I'll tell you one thing. See, Rahul, listen. Viewers, I want to tell you one thing. Can I speak to the viewers for a minute? Do I have your permission, everyone in the house? Can I get your permission for a minute? I want to say something very important now. See, Sujata ji made some very relevant points. Sujata ji, you've been at the helm of bureaucracy for a very long time, and please hear me on this view, ma'am. You see, I have felt that even before the Prime Minister announced the lockdown, one lobby, they decided, oh, great time to spread panic and fearmonger about a possible extension of lockdown. 2 days back, on Sunday, when there was no grid collapse, I went on air and I said, where was the grid collapse? Will you apologize now? They didn't. Now, these people fearmongered about migrant laborers. I want to say one thing today, okay? Guardian newspaper in UK. Guardian newspaper in UK more concerned. BBC is more concerned about why India is going downhill. India is fine. India is fine. You take care of your own country. They said India racked. Look at the words used, Sujata ji. India racked by greatest exodus since the partition due to the coronavirus. They said bleak scenarios, migrant workers are dying on the roads of India. This is a scenario they created. Okay? What happened? Now we need to ask these people, Sujata ji, what happened? Center, calmly Modi government directed all states to quarantine migrant workers, provide hundreds of temporary shelters with food, medical screening. Some states took steps to ensure that the migrant workers reach home. No. Will Guardian give us an apology now, Amar Patnaik ji? No.
And they are being given, you please ensure this.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Sujata ji, another point is, and I want Sujata ji to respond to it. See, because everyone's being looked as a biased party. Sujata ji, I'll tell you one more thing. Certain human rights lobbies, there is this, what is this organization, Human Rights Watch. COVID-19 puts poor of India at risk, ensure have access to food and healthcare. What happened? States across the country, Sujata ji, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh have already taken up the task of feeding and providing shelter for the homeless. Did they say anything after that? Did they apologize? No. So 11, 12 days back, Sujata ji, they created a situation where, according to their prediction, we would have been in mayhem today. Has the mayhem happened, Sujata ji? You tell me. We have a system. Let me listen to Sujata Rao, please.
So seamless, you would believe.
Let me hear from Sujata Rao. No, let's listen to the bureaucrat today. Why always politicians must speak first? Sujata ji, what is the reality? Our systems have worked quite well.
The reality is that the states have swung into action. We have an excellent administrative system where the district collectors are fully in charge and they have the whole administrative setup under them. And they have swung into action in trying to see what they can, converting schools, hotels, whatever possibilities they have of making accommodation facilities for the migrants who come back into their district. It's also the villagers who come out, and try to help out with their own villagers who have been put in quarantine for some time. But having said that, there is a little bit more to be done in bigger cities, I feel, because there is a lot of invisible population which also needs to be catered to by food kitchens maybe, or some more food grains to be distributed.
Yeah, of course.
I feel it's underway, and I feel the government and the district authorities are really tough, battling with a very tough situation.
Absolutely.
But it will settle down.
I absolutely agree with you.
They'll have to get the food grains that have been sanctioned.
I agree with you. What I'm only saying is,
it's not an easy thing to keep finding fault.
No. That's the point. See, Sujata ji, what I'm saying is, and Sambit, I'm coming to you. See, the point is, and last thing. You see, Kavita Krishnan is a great candidate to head a Maoist organization, Ajay Alok. But she knows nothing about any government administration or anything. She's a great candidate to become head of a Maoist group. But why did she say fear-mongering about food shortage? Why did she give unsolicited advice? Today, is she tweeting that the Food Corporation of India has said there is no shortage? That we have 17.43 metric tons of grains which have been unloaded by 15 states since the lockdown began?
Staying without food. There are millions
India
of
always
people
had
who are
this
staying without
buffer.
food.
You see, India always has.
Ajay.
I have been a bureaucrat to tell you that.
Who said millions of people are staying without food? Why spread all
The
quantities
Food Corporation of India always has a buffer,
today's time,
and that is.
Yeah.
Earlier also I told you in the debates that desperate situations need desperate measures, but these people do not understand. And right thing for this time is to avoid these people, ignore these people, just forget even they exist.
Yeah.
Because they don't know anything constructive, they only spread negativity. They will try to
negativity.
demolize you. They will try to hamper your
I think,
spirit.
for example,
and
viewers,
this is not the time.
No, to spread uninformed things which people write. Like the Wire put out an article, Modi's 9-minute blackout call will keep India's power industry on its toes. What toes? What toes? Wire? Do you know what you write?
That is being followed.
Anyway, they don't even give a corrigendum
Arnab,
to it. Viewers, the point is we need a total lockdown. We are in control. We can manage the situation. And remember, this is a phase. It will not last. I'll see you on the other side on the latest updates on what the Tablighi Markaz has been up to.